I mean, look, you're not going to get every single prediction right out there. I mean, I had the Chiefs on Super Bowl Sunday last year, and almost everybody had the 49ers last year. And this year, I just happened to be on the incorrect side of the outcome of the Super Bowl. And it is what it is. You're not always going to have the right pick all the time. For instance, I had the Lakers three-peating. I was the only one who had the Celtics failing to defeat the Miami Heat last year. I had Joe Biden winning the election when everybody had Donald Trump out there. For example, the year that I had the Houston Rockets, I knew the Warriors weren't going to win the three-peat, even though I had the wrong team. So the reality is that we're not all going to get it right. And sometimes it happened to be on the losing end of it. And I think tonight, what it really boils down to is that, I've stopped hating Tom Brady, but in my mind, I just thought that there was no way that he'd win his seventh Super Bowl. And the fact that this was a home Super Bowl, I just think the fact that Ben Roethlisberger wore number 7 was what I think I missed the most. And I think I interpreted the riddle incorrectly. I think that not only was Roethlisberger number 7, that may have been the biggest giveaway. I think what it comes down to is that Joe Biden is born in the year of the horse, which is number 7, the Chinese zodiac order. I think that's the main thing that went wrong tonight, was that Joe Biden is the horse, number 7, the zodiac. We saw Dodger 7, Alabama 7, and the Joe Biden zodiac meant that it was going to be what you call the Buccaneers. I just think that it wasn't new Chief Biden, I think, just thinking about it. It was really Donald Trump was represented by the Chiefs. That the Chief just lost the election. He heads back to Mar-a-Lago. And I think what it boiled down to is that the looters were represented by Biden. Was it black people? Was it the so-called looters that helped Trump lose? Because we knew this was an election riddle. Because the Super Bowl was at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago was represented by Tampa. When I did the numerology of 22 for Joe Montana and Joe Montana, look, they synchronize and they code this up to make it seem like a riddle can happen for both sides. And I think that's what happened with the 100-year anniversary Bart Starr number 15 angle, that the Chiefs are playing for a repeat, after 15 seasons without a repeat. I mean, Joe Biden was the 16th Democratic president. You see, I think when you talk about those things, it meant that there were certain narratives lining up. But I think the main thing that what happened is that Tom Brady was an 8 light path, and the Chiefs' winning streak ended at 8. My biggest mistake applied to the 12-3 numerology sequence. It didn't mean that Tom Brady was going to lose his 12th playoff game. It meant that Bruce Arians' 12-3 was going to win the Super Bowl exactly 12 years later. And I think that's what I miss. And, in a way, before the season, the Cardinals did beat the Chiefs because Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, Harold Goodwin, Todd Bowles, Drew Stanton, those were all Cardinals. Jason Litch, general manager. So the Cardinals did beat the Chiefs. It's kind of weird how I was kind of right about that in a weird way. Now, here is how the projections were accurate after tonight. The real dynasty was the Vegas Raiders. In my video on Super Bowl 62, I have projected Kyler Murray to win the Super Bowl because Kyler Cole Murray has Jumanji of 62. This would occur 7 years after Bruce Arians wins the Super Bowl. All of the Cardinals coaches left the team after Palmer retired, and they joined the Bucs, and they won the Super Bowl. Arians has Jumanji of 62. Air Raid Zone has Jumanji of 62. The brothers will get the victories. Lamar, Dak Prescott, they will get victories. 7 years later from this time, Cardinals win the Super Bowl. Projection wins tonight. When I did the video of the Packers over the Chiefs for Super Bowl 57, a rematch of the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl, I did the Jumanji of Packers, that the Cardinals as Jumanji of 51, that the Packers were going to go 5-1 in the Super Bowl. You see, that was correct. When I'm making these predictions, I should stick with the long-term projection. How does the pick line up with the long-term projection? I'm going to switch away from the long-term projection, but the fact of the matter is I should trust the long-term projection just a little bit more. So conventional wisdom based on the long-term projection of the Packers being 5-1 in the Super Bowl after winning at Glendale meant that it had to be Tampa Bay. And that's the obstacle that I had to overcome. So Super Bowl 62, check, we know for sure. Super Bowl 57, check, we know for sure. I think it's not really the hatred of Tom Brady, but just the feeling of, it has to end right here. It has to end right here. It was Ben Roethlisberger. I think Ben Roethlisberger being a 7 light path, I think that's the biggest giveaway that this was going to happen. Right when Andy Reid's son died, I was like, Andy Reid, he may not be right in the head. I mean, it wasn't really Andy Reid tonight, I thought. I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs throwing the game. And as we talk about Super Bowl 58, as we talk about Vegas, first and foremost, when I did the projection for Super Bowl 57, Patrick Mahomes was at 1 Super Bowl. I was originally correct, okay? Patrick Mahomes was not going to win this Super Bowl for a long, long time. I should have stuck with that. That's good news. That Super Bowl 57 does not reflect on a Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl title before that time. That's good. As it pertains to Bart Starr, everything involving Joe Montana and the 49ers was true for last year's Super Bowl, that Joe Cool came back. I mean, the Joe Biden, Joe Montana angle, you just have to stick with the looters in the Super Bowl. You just have to stick with the looters. Tom Brady being the 8 light path, he had to go play for an 8th championship. I think that's what happened. Now, Super Bowl 59, spot on again. The dynasty is the Raiders. The Raiders are going to win the Super Bowl next year. As a matter of fact, I've called this Super Bowl two years in advance. I think it's a fantastic accomplishment to call the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, the 3-peat. I mean, years in advance is what I'm doing. The same thing has happened with the World Cup in 2022. The same thing has happened with Tottenham's Premier League titles. The same thing is true for the coming Yankees 3-peat. The same thing is true for many, many, many other topics. Super Bowl 59 being the bird with a Kamala Harris presidency, African American again. This will almost be like Obama's election, almost exactly like Obama's election in a big way. So 6-2, 6-2 it is, pertaining to the Patriots and the Buccaneers over Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Minor details like that. I also believe that phrases should be gone away and done with. No gematria phrases is going to work. Patrick Mahomes was 23-5 light path, and he was going to win 5 straight playoff games. I think it's the other thing, too, that I got wrong with the angle. But don't think I'm going anywhere, because I'm not going anywhere. I was wrong tonight. I was right on the Miami Heat over the Celtics. None of us are going to get it right all the time. I never said I was going to get it right all the time. I think there's too many degenerates who go around the videos, not really in it for the right reasons. The main reason being seeking truth. And that's what I do here. And so I build off of Joe Biden election victory. I build off the Lakers' first championship of the 3-peat, Kevin Durant and company winning the championship when nobody thinks they're going to win the championship because they're a bunch of prima donnas. You see, everybody's going to hate the Nets. And that's sort of what the WrestleMania, I think, was a reason that factored into this. But I'm really liking how the long-term projections are playing out. And the most beautiful thing about tonight is that I get to make more videos showing you exactly, hey, what went right with the Super Bowl, what went wrong with the Super Bowl, what went wrong with Liverpool failing to repeat, but what went right for the UEFA Champions League. These kind of things that I talk about.